Okay, well, Daniel Benjamin from Queens, New York, in finance and financial education, and it feels like I'm in the HMP all over again, talking about what I do. Obviously, I won't go into specifics, but yeah, my world has been all about finance and talking about what I do and how I experience finance through the uh, I would say the events in my life that have brought me to where I am today. I mean, this finance is sounds like either the lowest thing, probably like the most like climbing Mount Everest when you think about doing it and going through the gauntlet and all that. Lord knows I just finished my CE courses, which is required every 2 years, and there's always growing and learning and all of that stuff. But I can tell you this: it's my experiences from the past, drawing on mistakes that were made as a whole, in my family, that has contributed for me to wanting to know more about how money works, and so that is what I seek to do: is educate
Okay.
and teach people.
Okay. Quickly, Kurt, I don't know if you heard me before, but if you have anything you want to say, you can just come in here when you have anything to say. Um,
Yeah, Emily, I just want to jump in here, and in terms of HMP and Tim's passion to serve the blue collar workers and things like that. Emily, tell our audiences a little bit more about where you're coming from. Like you said, we met through Anna Maria Bliven, who brings us prosperity pathways and onward and upward, and helping people find employment or the income that they're looking for. And so far, you've got your own journey, and through what you've been doing the last 2.5 years with HMP, we've met Daniel. And how does that all come together for you, Emily?
well, if it wasn't for HMP, Kurt, I don't think you or I, most likely, even though I suppose it's always possible, but likely wouldn't have met Daniel if it wasn't for the Happy Neighbor Project. So that's awesome.
Crazy, right?
To Edwin and Happy Neighbor for starting the Happy Neighborhood Project. So big thanks and recognition to Edwin for that. Um, um, but yeah, as far as Kerr was actually the one that 2.5 years ago when I met him, kind of got me into doing podcasts or doing what we're doing right now. I mean, I'd always been interested or liked listening to podcasts, but never actually been on or think I'd ever be on or sort of co-hosting one. But Kurt, I don't know what to do with you, but got me to do this. So it's been a fun journey so far. Does that answer your question, Kurt?
It does. It does. So Daniel, what are your thoughts? Been on a lot of meetings with Emily. She's a co-host for HMP Wisconsin, Minnesota. We've had some of our follow-up 2-to-1 meetings between the three of us. And then we're talking in the scope of blue collar workers and finding income. Kind of, just talking from your experience with Emily, what would you say that you feel is what you're receiving and experiencing, and everything around Emily? What are your thoughts, Dan?
Well, first of all, Emily is a trooper. Your by trade, your business is that you're a virtual assistant. But I told Kurt earlier, and you were witness to that, that I would call you more of a virtual assistant. You are on top of your game, and you make sure that things get done. So I really do appreciate you for being on top with me, because I honestly, with my busy schedule, sometimes I'm all over the place and it's hard to pin me down. And sometimes I think I overreach with opportunity to sit down with someone on a scheduled casting like this. But I'm glad that you stayed focused to getting me. And to what you were saying earlier, Kurt, about Emily and Emily talking about how you guys know each other. This is a testament to the beauty of staying in possibility of getting to know people. Getting to one of the things that I love about my business is you never know who you might meet that can have an everlasting, reverberating effect. If it's employment, if it's social status, if it's finances, whatever the situation is, you meet somebody, and the both of you, Kurt and Emily, when you guys met each other, that look, 2.5 years you said passed by. That's a testament to the impact that your meeting has had, and that's one of the things that drives me in my business. So you never know when you meet somebody. When you come into your sphere, into your circle, just hold that energy of possibility.
I think that's one of the things that I like about HMP.
Yeah,
because that's it's sort of I guess networking in general is meeting new people that you may not have met before. So.
Yeah, I mean, I met one person in the Texas chapter. We became friends. He became a client, and now I'm helping him write a book, or at least a portion of a story of mine inside a book. You just never know what would happen. All these possibilities, they come up.
Cool. I like to read the book. But yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
But since this show is about cryptocurrency, what do you know about cryptocurrency, or what's your kind of thought on it?
So you talk to people from all the corners of finance. You're probably going to get different responses to that, because I think it's very, very opinion based right now.
Right.
And the reason is the cryptocurrency hasn't been long enough as compared to some of the tried and true things that we talk about, like mutual funds and IRAs that have been around for a while and stood the test of time. So people are going to tell you the forecast is one way or the other and all that. It remains to be seen, and I'm very interested in those people who go and experience and partake in cryptocurrency, and hopefully it'll last. You never know. But personally, I like the idea of dollar cost averaging, mutual funds, and all that stuff.
Awesome. Garrett, what do you have to say about cryptocurrency?
Well, I mean, I guess as a service, and just trying to be useful to others out there, and like Daniel says, it's quite a myriad of reactions to it. It's like innovations, where you have your early adopter, you have your innovators who jump right in. They always got to be there right on the cutting edge, trying new things out, and being the influencers, and making the commentary and doing their thing with it, and professing what it's all about. And then you have your early adopters, and then you have your laggers, and then everything seems to find its own natural place in the world. And I think to Daniel's point, I think cryptocurrency, it's been around for, I remember what the year is that it first got introduced, and people were, first learning about Bitcoin and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's got some years in, and, it does something for, ginormous number of people out there that they're into it, doing what they're doing. But in terms of it settling into being a household thing and everybody knows about it, I think Tim is doing the show because it's still the many blue collar workers in innovation. It's still new to them and they don't know the terminology. I know when Tim talks in this show, that he's bringing up terms and he's referencing groups and people, and he's putting some effort into it to dive in and figure out the landscape of of cryptocurrency. Again, with the blue collar workers in his mind, to have them just be able to follow a little bit more. And like I've said before, even if it's just for entertainment value, and some might think of it as something where people are out there buying lottery tickets and so forth. They're going to the casinos, playing bingo. And so it just seems like consumers out there have their own tolerances for just spending money, losing money, and it's just kind of their comfortability with expenditures, and not really looking at the financial planning or how they're going to get ahead. So everybody's different. They're what they're doing in the marketplace. So I guess I'm a fan of highly informed decisions, and that's why I like Tim's show. That we can't go out there and control people. We can't be like the police and say, "What are you doing? Why are you doing all this in Bitcoin? Why are you all doing this in cryptocurrency?" That's not what we want. It's just not realistic that that's how the world works. So to have information out there, I think is good. And with Tim having new stuff every week, kind of reminds people that maybe they want to do some looking and checking, before they dive in. And then Tim's point is like I said, with the lottery ticket thing and whatever, if you're kind of that person that kind of is doing some of this other stuff anyway, maybe you want to do some things as safe as you can, with cryptocurrency, but to not get in over your head or anything you do with it. There's no guarantees with the volatility. You got to say if you put $15 in or $30 in or $300 or whatever, or really diving in and for whatever your reasons are to do thousands or whatever it is, you got to be willing to lose it. To me, that would be my question for everybody. If you're not willing to lose the money that you're tying up in cryptocurrency, why are you doing it? Because I haven't had anybody tell me that's not some sort of definite possibility. So I also make comments about in the marketplaces, like with checkouts and so forth, taking different types of forms of payment or with companies. Cryptocurrency could be a temporary place for transactions. Like at HMP, I don't want to compare it to Stripe, but people are just doing different things that just to make the transaction, they're using a platform. And then really what they want to do is they want to get over in their bank account and then more over to where financial advisors could do something with it. If it's anything of significance, or else just put it in the flow of your spending and just have it as liquidation, so liquefy the cryptocurrency pieces. And I think, yeah, we're very early on. It's in the infancy of what role this is really going to play. I really feel it's not going away. I think even if, like I say, if it's more for the entertainment value of things and just some people are out there looking at like the Federal Reserve here in the US, and they're just like, boy, any chance I can, get money away from where the Federal Reserve has their fingers on it. But, and then I hear people talk about the politics behind that, is that, if it keeps amassing and it keeps being a significant piece of when our nations, set budgets, and if money keeps amassing into cryptocurrency, I mean, obviously governments are going to take a look at it and, just make it something that's got to be as transparent as other finances. So, so really, I think we're all exploring this together, and it's an innovation, it's a technology, and technology is applied use of tools. So kind of using a platform, picking a cryptocurrency or whatever, it's a tool that you can use for whatever your interest is on that, and then how you apply it is important. Like if you're leaving it in there for a long time, maybe ask yourself, why is that? Why are you leaving it in that cryptocurrency aspect for more than a year, a couple of years, or ongoing at all? Why is that? And maybe some are performing well enough that maybe there are people doing that. So I think that's what this is about: sharing and comparing information. And I'm not hearing people making their retirement plans based on it. So I think that's a sign of how new it is. So I think we've got another handful of years, the next decade, and I think it'll settle out that as the reality of what it is. People are looking for alternate currencies, and cryptocurrency is a way to go about that. But it's not the end all cure all. So I think it's just healthy to talk about it, because some people get kind of a flash in the pan thing. They get kind of on like an impulse purchase, and it kind of seems good. And then, like Daniel helps us once in a while, the old thing about, how the fine print takes away, so it's always that hindsight thing. It's kind of like, well, when I got into it, I had no idea. Everything on the forefront looked really good, and all of a sudden it plays out, a little bit down the road, and it's kind of like a woulda, shoulda, coulda, and then you realize your mistakes later. So there you go, Emily. That is the Kurt Roskoff review.
Awesome. Do you mind if I add a couple of things to that? Because I did my little Google search on it very quickly. It says 2009 was when cryptocurrency was first invented. So it was not too long ago, but also not too far long ago. And so a couple of things that come up to me in terms of the analyzer part of me, because there's an age-old saying, inspect what you expect, right? So people are, especially when it comes to large sums of money, people are going to look into what they're looking at and all that. So for me, what I like about my own personal Roth IRA that was opened up for me back in 2017, what stood out to me is a couple of safeguards, because a lot of people, when they think about investing, they think of kind of like, betting up and down, like the market could go up, the market could go down. You can lose money, you can gain money. But if you're constantly every single month putting money in into your account, what's happening is when you're doing that, you're purchasing parts of stock. That's how mutual funds work. You purchase whatever stocks, a compilation of stocks that are in there. You're purchasing a portion of them. If, let's just say, you're putting a minimum $50 a month, or 100, or up to the maximum, whatever it is that you're doing. So every single time you buy, it's until you sell, it stays in your account, right? So over the years, even though the market is going down or the market is going up or whatever it is, especially if the market is going down, you have more purchasing power per se, because what's happening is now you're able to buy a stock that, if it was like double the cost back then, but now is half the cost now. Now you can buy two for the price of one, and it's still staying and accumulating in your portfolio. Your portfolio may look like like it's going down in terms of the money that's in there, but the stock amount keeps on piling up. So what happens is one day there's going to be like this popcorn effect. Hopefully that's the idea. But if we all know how market works, they work in cycles. You have a down cycle, you have an up cycle, down cycle, up cycle. So when you catch it on the up cycle, that's what's going to happen. And so what I love about investing outside of this mysterious thing that a lot of people are giving thought to, which is cryptocurrency, is that there are some safety nets, quote unquote, that are associated with investing in traditional ways of like a mutual fund inside a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, or whatever you call it. Is that ability to have that And also the ability, depending on what plan that your mutual fund is funding, if it's a Roth or whatever, to have some sort of tax advantage to that. So, I look at those things and they've been tried and true. And cryptocurrency is, for the most part, lacking in that. Although I know some companies out there are looking to put that into their portfolios, or as an ability for people to be able to put into their investment portfolios, which is a cool thing, which I think gives me a little more confidence in that, if that makes sense. And I'm
Yeah, I think we're gonna sure how to get myself in here, but oh, there we go. I mean, I've and Tim has been here and Ducky and I mean, I've learned a few things about crypto, but so I think this is a good topic to talk about, have a podcast on. So
Yeah, I would love to have Tim's weigh in on all of it. I wish he was here. But, yes, well, we'll catch him on the next go around. But this is a great discussion because, yeah, I've never, and I think the word is correct that you're talking about before, which was plunger. I was never a plunger. I don't plunge into things right away without inspecting. So I know you used a different word for that, for somebody who jumps in right away. But having Tim's input into this, I think would add extra value beyond a doubt.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure where he is today, but hopefully we can get him on next week because he's wanting to do this every Sunday at about around this time, 5 Eastern. So you're always welcome to come back anytime, as I'm sure you know. So if sometime we can get the two of you to connect or anything like that.
Thank you so much, Emily. I appreciate it. And thank you so much, Kurt. This was really fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Emily, what's next on this, your Blue Collar Crypto Show?
First of all, I wanted to thank Daniel for coming on today. Finally. It's just taken a little while to get him on a show, but
it took a hot minute.
But thank you, Daniel, for coming on. And to everybody who has tuned in and is listening. Would like to recognize and thank Marcus Hart of Transform Media, Jay Stoyan of the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the PAC Channel for allowing us to have a show on their platforms as well. As I said before, we are here every Sunday at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. Would like to encourage everybody to check out all of our social media. And like, share, subscribe, comment, and so on. But a couple announcements here of a couple events that are coming up within the next couple months here. That I would encourage everybody to be a part of if your schedule allows. The first one, for those of you who are Seinfeld fans, February 3rd, 4th, and 5th is called Festivus in February, which is been going on for 25 years. The Ruska family has been hosting for 25 years. With the Festivus poll, a framed picture of Kramer, feats of strength, airing of grievances, online games, board games, a scavenger hunt. And something new this year is our very own Marilyn Lemaire from Hawaii is having karaoke that Friday evening. Scavenger hunt is Saturday. So I encourage everybody to either join in person, or you'll be on Zoom. So if you're going to attend, connect with us to get the Zoom link. Anything you want to add about Festivus in February, Kurt?
Yeah, Festivus was born out of, well, a few things. First of all, story told is, back in 1991, I came back from college break and, basically wanted to reunite with some of my high school friends, friends that I didn't see for a while as they were off at their colleges. And so kind of reached up to a handful of them and kind of said, hey, if you're going to hang out with anybody else, just feel free to let them take along. Let's just gather up over here. Well, what ended up happening is reaching out to a handful of people, like 5 people, turned into 20 people came. And, that was great. It was great to have that kind of response. So I had to lean on a couple friends to go and make a little run for supplies, and a couple friends helping with hospitality and so forth, because it was a little bit more than I bargained for. But yeah, it made for a good party. So in that sense, it was something that I just knew I wanted to do, to just kind of have something on an annual basis for that. The other thing is, building off of that a little bit more is, I think in life we have our friends or contacts where we see them very seldom, very infrequently. But then when it does cycle around, we see them again, we're a little conscious of that. Like, oh my gosh, it's been so long. We gotta see each other more and whatever. And then you part, and then the same thing happens. You don't see them for several years or something like that. So I just kind of said, you know what? Another reason that we just got to have an annual event. Everybody knows when it is. And if they don't come, and run all weekend event, from 4 Central on Friday all the way through, 8:30 or 9 p.m. on Sunday. And it's available on Zoom and people can connect. I mean, that's just a little bit more feedback. That's just a little bit more of, across all those hours, you just have other things that are more pressing and just not really looking to slip us in, so that's fine. We'll take that feedback. And then with Festivus, it's all slotted in with it, as Emily said, airing of grievances. So it's a good package, the Festivus theme. But again, it is something that's just all for fun. And we've been doing it for a quarter century, and 2.5 years being with the Happy Neighborhood Project. So this idea of spreading happiness around the world, I guess that's a little bit a part of the inspiration of Festivus and the Festivus culture, dating back to ancient Rome, folks. So a little bit of that pagan culture and everything, that caught on in California. And then the writers, the one writer with Jerry Seinfeld, story told is that his father had unusual celebrations for, with an anniversary. And so just that family experience, and then plus picking up on this Festivus culture that is more around the world December 23rd. So that's kind of where like Christmas has like Christmas in July. We do Festivus in February. And that February weekend, for at least here in Wisconsin, I kind of look at it as a nice point on the calendar to kind of break up the winter doldrums and the cabin fever, and maybe all the stuff we do on the Zoom, and just do something a little bit more ridiculous, maybe. So yeah, a good little occurrence that has happened in our journey, and so we invite people in, and it's available. And story told again is 14 years ago when we were doing this Festivus event. My daughter was due to be born in the middle of March, and lo and behold, here she's a preemie, being born 6 weeks early.
She decided she needed to join the Festivus party, so she decided to come like at the start of the Festivus weekend.
So huzzah! There's our Festivus miracle. So my daughter has the little tagline as our Festivus miracle. But yeah, that year was interesting because we were hosting at our house here, and then we weren't even here. So we did so good for a number of years. I was able to just make one phone call to a friend to kind of be the ultimate, key holder, person. And then whatever happened from there. It was a party. Make yourself at home, literally, because you have no host. So that was good. It was a free for all. So there you go. So this really is just kind of us opening up our lives for a few days and just seeing where it goes and giving a new spin to the year ahead. And so if any of you are out there inclined to it, or think you have others in your life that might be more inclined to it, referrals are welcome. And let's see what we can do. And would love to have it be a nice disruption coming back that following week, the H&P, you wouldn't believe what happened at Festivus. Well, what the heck is Festivus, as also some will say. And there you go. Sorry before the start. So with
that you should have been there, and you have to look forward to next year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you've said before, Kurt. That's what keeps you coming back for more kind of a thing.
Yeah. So same thing with Blue Collar Crypto. We're here to give you that thing that keeps you coming back week after week, wondering if Tim is going to show up to his own show. This is best. So Emily, I think we're in the final minute. I think we'll give you a minute to win it, and then I think we're going to disconnect. Do your thing, Emily.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions, comments, and so on, they can connect with me at podcasterengineer54@gmail.com or 715-303-9835, or they can contact Kurt at 262-372-1754 or abilitymke@gmail.com. So, guys, that's it for today. Kurt, so on behalf of me, Kurt, and the rest of the World of Ability Podcast Network, wish you a safe and productive week, and stay happy.
Thank you so much.